All right. What is going on, everyone on YouTube? Griffin here, coming back to you guys with another live stock market stream from the Millennial Motivation Entrepreneur YouTube channel. First and foremost, if you'll be tuning in for the first time, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below and hitting that bell icon. That way you'll be notified every time we go live for some live stock market trading, or if we upload any videos for you guys, you'll be notified as soon as that comes out. And if you're not already part of our Discord group chat, the link for that will be in the description box as well. Super easy to join. Just download the Discord app on your smartphone or tablet, whatever you use, and hit the link, and it'll take you right to the group. Totally free. Don't charge for anything associated with this channel, of course. But with that, we will go ahead and hop just right into the stream. So obviously, we're having a pretty good bounce back so far this morning. We had highs of about 29.36. The reason I need to go ahead and take that off, that was where I was wanting to get in the market last night. I got super close, but then the market just took off. I fell asleep. So, I was trying to get in the market around like 11 p.m. Central Time last night, and had some signs of pretty close to oversold, and I was like, okay, well, if we get down to 29.12, I'll go ahead and buy in. But of course not. It got around 29.13, I believe, maybe even 29.12.75, somewhere around that range. And then from there, we just started going up. And then, of course, like clockwork, right around like 2 a.m., 1 to 2 a.m., we started going up, going up, going up, and we just continued to pull up from there. We're hovering not too far off of the highs of the day. I'm looking for an entry. I want to see this market kind of pull back to around that 29.30 level. Maybe not even quite 29.30, but between like 29.30, 29.31. We're pretty close at 31 right now. Our EMAs are acting kind of as a resistance right now. We had a little bit of a pop over to about 29.32. But we got rejected again, came back down to about 29.31. So just hanging out for now. But overall, did a couple trades last night, 1 or 2 trades last night. I should have hung in this one for a lot longer, but I was on the road. So once I saw the market started popping up, so we did this trade at so we had one trade that pretty much we made very little money on. I think it was, let me see, so 603. So I don't know which one it was actually. Let's see, 536. So yeah, this trade, we ended up pretty much losing like $2 after the fees and commissions. I was shorting the market there, and I was not very confident that the market was going to pull down much more, which was a good thing that I went with that, because obviously we continued to pull up. But that was the only trade that we kind of didn't do so good on yesterday. Like I said, technically break even, but we lost a couple dollars off of the fees and commissions, of course. Then we hopped in here, just a little 3.25 point rise, about $12, $13 after our fees and commissions. And then right here, this is a trade where I was kind of kicking myself. Again, I was on the road. My alert started going off, and it looked like the market randomly just popped up. So I was like, shit, I'm just going to go ahead and close this. I can't really tell what's going on. I was just at a stoplight. So I just closed the trade at 29.08. If I had held literally for about 10 more minutes, which I probably would have if I was at home, this would have ended up being around, I believe it was like 29.14 or 15. A few of you guys in Discord were following me on that trade, but yeah, definitely could have made a little bit more profit there, another 4 points at the minimum, but profit's profit. I'll take it at least. Again, we were only in that trade for about half an hour. So that puts us now up about $127. Again, for those of you that don't know, we started out with about $800 trading the micro mini futures this go around. And we are up about $127 now over the last week and a half. So we're getting our pullback here. Like I said, I want to see right around 29.30 hold. Wouldn't be surprised if we dip a little bit below it to say like 29, 28, 28, 29, 29, somewhere in that range. But we'll see what happens here if they decide to save it right around here, or if it continues to push off. I'm going to go ahead and get a trade set up just in case if I decide to buy in here. We'll see what happens here over the next minute or two, couple minutes. And another thing too is we have plenty of room to continue to keep pulling back a little. So I mean, I'm in no rush. I mean, if I miss out on this trade, then so be it. But again, I like to buy more so when we're in kind of an oversold condition, which we're definitely not by any means, of course. Okay. So yeah, but let me make sure really quick that our stream is up and doing all right. Looks like we are. If we ever have any issues, then of course just let me know there in the chat. And of course, if you guys have any questions or any ticker symbols, anything like that, you want me to take a look at for you, just shout it out in the chat as well. That's what it's there for at the end of the day. But yeah, so I mean, as of yesterday, let me see. I'm trying to think of like how much we were up overall yesterday after fees and commissions. I think we were up somewhere. This is never right, by the way. These whole profit loss things are like never right. They're close, but it's more so updated on the phone. The computer always seems to lag behind, and it doesn't factor in your fees and commissions either. But overall, I think yesterday we were up somewhere around like $30 or $40. I don't know to be exact, but somewhere around $30 or $40 yesterday. It was just a pretty slow day. I mean, we had one trade early on. I think I did it on the first live stock market trading session we did yesterday morning. It was the one that was roughly like a 3 or 4 point gain. Let's see here. Yeah, around 9:05 a.m. Yeah, it was just a little 3 point gain. And then as you can see, we didn't do another move all day until the evening session. That first one, that was pretty much a break-even, slight loser. Then we had two 3 to 4 point gains. So we're just sitting here waiting. I wouldn't be surprised again. 29.30 is going to hold pretty well. Honestly, that's my target entry, but I want to see again, are we going to pull back a little bit more? If so, we'll see. But we didn't quite hit oversold, but that doesn't necessarily mean we have to here. Only thing that concerns me is we're pretty close to this resistance. 29.31 to 29.33 is a pretty strong resistance level. You can see we got rejected by it a couple times. It looks almost like last week's movement where we kind of moved up here over 29.30, pulled back slightly, tested it again, pulled back again, and then ultimately we shot up to 29.46. I'm a believer that in all honesty we're going to do somewhat a similar thing today. Wouldn't be surprised if again we start to pull back a little here, and then early trading session we're probably going to shoot up and try to retest that 29.45 area. I was discussing that in our Discord group chat. Apparently we have some good news out of the Hong Kong situation that's helping the markets a little bit. We can get it pulled up here and see the actual quote-unquote news. So gold pulls back, oil pops. That's a good thing for the markets slightly. Global markets are rallying. So, I mean, all the news so far is good on the day. Doesn't mean that Trump won't come out and tweet and wreck it all. But as of now, we're set up for a pretty good day. I mean, we're already up about 0.8%. I mentioned yesterday, I don't know if I said it on the live stock market stream or just on Discord, but I mentioned yesterday that I think today was going to be like a 1 to 2% up day. So, I mean, we're up, say, 0.8% right now. So, for us to go up, yeah, like I said, I mean, I think we're testing a 29.45 today. So, we'll see what happens. But as for me, I'm just looking for an entry point right now. My target entry is right around here, right around 29.30. unless if obviously we get some dump, and then I'll do a quick scalp, of course. But my target entry is right around here. I just want to see kind of how it holds up. I'm honestly a little bit surprised that we didn't pull back a little bit, but since we're close to the opening bell, I wouldn't be surprised if it pops up from there. So you guys know I usually don't like to trade a whole lot that first hour of the market, but I might have to here because, I mean, like I said, we're right at my target entry and we're holding it pretty well. So it's probably not going to move a whole lot here the next few minutes until the market opens up. So when that happens, we'll see where we go from there. And another thing too is I usually like to get in when our 5-minute and 10-minute charts are kind of below this line on our MACD a little bit. Not 100% of the time do I base my trades off that, of course, but it's just something I keep in the back of my mind. I mean, we've definitely pulled back a little bit, but I don't know. 15-minute as well. Same kind of thing going on. So we got now under 2 minutes until market open, and this whole partially delayed thing, I found out it's only for stock and equity options. Again, I mean, I don't trade those. I don't really use TD Ameritrade a whole lot for that. This just happened the last week or two, couple weeks. I don't know why or when it happened, but everything used to be real time. I don't know if now they're making everybody pay for it or what the hell is going on with that BS. But as long as I got real time futures, that's all I care about. So let me know if anyone is like tuning in right now, if you're all kind of having like the same issue if you use Thinkorswim. Did you all start doing delayed 20 minutes too recently? But yeah, like I said, I mean, I really don't care since, I mean, I trade futures, so it's whatever from that standpoint, but just a little bit annoying. Holding that 29.30 pretty well, but we know all hell's about to break loose here in the next minute, so we'll see what happens here. Nah, it's not what I meant to do. So we got 10 seconds left, so we will see what happens. Like I said, my gut is telling me, I mean, it's going to do one or two things, of course, either push up or fall down here. But I feel like my gut instinct was we're going to push up. So we'll see what happens here, if they push it up or pull it down a little bit. So we're at 29.30, pulling it down some. Pulling down a little bit more. I'd like to see us go oversold a little bit, but probably not going to happen. Still holding at 29.30 pretty well. $29.31. We'll see if we can break out of this 34 EMA. If we can break out of that, hold it, then I might go ahead and hop in and ride it up some. Because you can see here, I mean, we were going above it, now we came down, test it, come down, test it, come down, test it. We've gotten rejected a couple times here in a row now. So we'll see what happens. Still holding that support beautifully though. But we did the same thing earlier with 29.31, so we'll see what happens over the next few minutes. Like I said, our 5-minute chart still showing a little bit more room to the downside, definitely possible. We're pulling down to 29.29 now. It's all about being patient at the end of the day. So like right now we're starting to show signs of oversold. I'm not going to hop in yet. We just started showing that sign. We could pull down a bit further. Wouldn't be surprised here now if they try to pull down to like 29.28, maybe even 29.27s. We'll see here. So you can see we just barely hit oversold on our RSI. Looked like we hit like 29 on the RSI. We're at 37 currently on that. So apparently Kroger is trying to tell people with conceal and carry to not carry their guns in their store. I guess Kroger doesn't really realize who their customer majority is. Because criminals always go by laws and rules, right? Let's see what happens here. So I'm a little surprised, in all honesty, that we're not having a bit more going on at the moment. I mean, we've dropped a couple points, but I kind of expected a bigger either drop or pop at the opening bell. Yesterday was also a bit slower. Market the last 2 days, I mean, it seems like the biggest moves have been overnight, and then throughout the day, we just kind of hang out around either low of the day, high of the day, depending on if it's a green day or red day. Like yesterday, the market, as you can see, I mean, we hit a low of 28.91, but then as you can see, we hung around 2900 pretty much a majority of the day until the after hours. And then after hours, we were discussing that in Discord too. It was like once all this started happening around 6-7 p.m. Central Time, U.S. Central Standard Time, it's just like everything just started happening relatively quickly. And it was like, man, we've had more activity going on in the last few hours than we did the entire market session. So we're testing that 34 EMA again. We're right at 29.30. Is acting like a support. Now it'll probably act as a slight resistance. But we'll see. But hopefully our stream is still doing okay. Hopefully not having any technical issues at the moment. If anything comes up, just let me know. And of course, like I said, if you have any questions, any ticker symbol stocks you want me to take a look at, just shout it out there in the chat. I'm not in any position currently. I'm kind of just sitting and waiting on the market to kind of shake out and do its thing. But for the time, yeah, that's it for the time being. We're looking for an entry. Like I said, we're still up around $127 the last week or so. How's it going, Luis? Here in the micro gold. Gold has been up a lot recently. GC. It's down a little bit today. It's at 1554. Pull up the 20-day chart. 20-day chart, I kind of like it. I think it'll go up and retest 2560 probably. Could go either way though, so just beware with that. But yeah, gold has been just on a run over the last, probably 3 months at least. Yeah, about 3 months. Gold's just been on a rip. I would not be surprised if this thing gets up close to 1600 before it finally taps out. Pull up the 3-week chart. As you can see, on our 3-year chart, we're at 3-year highs. We could go out even further probably. I think it's like not all-time highs, but getting up there for sure. So we're gonna hit some resistance right around 1600 in the long term, but I'm sure you're not planning on like holding it long term either. You might be, but I'm thinking you're probably just looking to trade this. As for today, I think 1560 is definitely 1559 to 1560 is a pretty good possibility. Looks like you're running into a bit of resistance at the 1555 level, but if you break through that, then 1560 is definitely a possibility. So we're back down to 29.28. I'm glad I checked in on this because now we're showing signs of oversold. Probably getting ready to do a little scalp here. Pull up our 5-minute chart again. So 5-minute chart is also starting to flash signs of about to literally just touch oversold on that 5-minute chart. You're up $24 right now. Awesome. So I'm probably going to go out on a leg here and go ahead and take a little scalp right around that 29.28 level. So we're at 20. See, and this is why I always wait it out, because when I get in, it seems to always drop like another point or two. Not that a point or two in the long run is going to make a huge difference, but if you can lower your cost basis and essentially make your profit go up a little bit more, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So I'm waiting for now. Probably just missed out because of waiting, but shit. I was really waiting on that 5-minute chart to show oversold. So we'll see. It might still pull back a little bit further here. Had a good bounce right at 27.50. Up about 1.5 now on that. I'll keep an eye on it. So now our 8 and 12 EMA, new little bit of resistance there. Like I said, my gut's telling me the selling ain't quite done here. We might even flirt around with the 29-26 range before this goes higher. But we might not. We might go ahead and turn on up from here. So I should have just gotten in at 29-27.50 it looks like. Oh well. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense that it stopped at 29-27.50. Let me zoom out a little bit here. I guess. Okay, so we're back above this 34. So if we can hold above that 34, then I will probably hop in because I think we're gonna ride it up to the high of the day at the minimum. Definitely missed out on a little bit of profit there by not going with my usual instincts and hopping in when we hit oversold, especially when we hit it twice, a little double bottom there on the RSI. But Oh well, sometimes it's better to miss out than try to chase. Let's see. Okay, so there's the pullback. It's trying to hold it. I'm a little hesitant this morning. That's not like me. Because usually what I would have done is bought on that drop and then had a stop loss of a few points, or not necessarily a stop loss, but in my mind, a stop loss of a few points, 3 to 4 points, and then obviously would have been up pretty good already. Been up about 3 points right now. So it looks like we're going to hold here. I don't know. I do not like trading first hour of the day. There we go. I was worried about that. That's why I wanted to see if we would hold it or not. So, we'll see what happens. Still just sitting, waiting. It's a really long, awfully long wick. And we're just going to make it all back up. Donald Trump just tweeted, the Chinese are very adept at not accepting anything. You've got to be very tough, and that is what Trump, why is he talking about himself in second person? Or third. That is what Trump is doing. It is in China's interest to correct, and I think will end up, it's hard to read when it breaks up on my watch. And I think we'll end up with a solution that dramatically is better than what we have today. And it goes on and on. It actually cut off on my phone. That might have been why we just had a little move. Whatever. So it looks like 29.28 is going to be kind of that support level this morning. If you're wondering why we're having so much trouble with 29.31 at the moment, it was a decent support level for us when we came back down throughout the morning. We broke it. Now it looks like we're going to try to break to the upside here, up over 29.32. So I'm regretting not hopping in that 27.50 a little bit. One thing about it, our DMI still has not crossed yet, which doesn't necessarily signal whether it's time to buy or sell necessarily, but usually if we're going to keep running up, this thing crosses pretty quickly. Sometimes it lags by a minute or two though. We're still hovering right around my target buy, which was 29.30. Smack dab at it. Again, it's just that first hour. I hate the first hour of trading because, I mean, market's just trying to sit here. I mean, as you guys can see, I mean, we're literally just sitting here. It's just a battle right now, trying to figure out which direction we're going to continue to move in today. Once we get some direction, I'll go ahead and hop in. But for the time being, I mean, I'm not going to try to chase anything. Like I said, I personally think we're going to end up going up further today, but if there's one thing about this market over the last year or two, it is completely unpredictable. So you just have to go with your targets. Like me, I don't really like getting in unless if I have signs of oversold. That's just me. That's my type of trading. If I had, then I would have got a good little 3 to 4 point scalp right there, which I was mentioning. But like at the moment right here, I'm not really going to chase because we could keep going down. If we keep going down and we go oversold, then by all means, I'll go ahead and buy. But at the moment, it's just not really too attractive to me, one way or the other. And I really don't like shorting. As you guys could see on that trade yesterday, I mean, I just literally cut it off when it was at break even because I don't have confidence when it comes to shorting. And I'd really, really, really like to see the 5-minute chart go oversold. When that goes oversold, we usually tend to have a pretty good bounce. But until then, we usually kind of just tend to do this sideways BS. Crude doing well. Yeah, crude's having a good bounce back this morning, which is actually a little bit surprising. Back over 55. I'm the one that keeps preaching. Anything over 55 is short territory for oil. I think this is an amazing shorting opportunity for oil. I mean, I would, of course, let it run, see how high it goes. But I definitely think by the end of the day, I'd be placing a short on this. Probably going to go up 3 to 4% today. I'm assuming we had inventory report this morning. Is it this morning or is it later? It might be later on this morning. But either way, I would let it run up, see what happens. And I would definitely short the shit out of it after today, tomorrow at the most. Might run up a little bit more tomorrow, fill the gap to about 56, but anywhere between that 55 to 56.50 range. I mean, a whole dollar obviously is a lot of profit loss in oil. So by all means, do your own homework if you're planning on like hopping into oil and decide where you want to get in, get out. But oil, again, like I said, I mean, honestly, I would probably wait till 56. You got another 30 cents. I mean, that's what, $300 difference when it comes to profit loss. So I would set some alerts around like 56. And then once this thing gets up to 56, 56.25 range, I'd probably be shorting the hell out of it. Because, like I said, I'm the one that keeps saying anything above 55 is short range for oil this time of year. I think we're going back to 50 within the next, I mean, maybe as early as a week or two. But definitely, I think by the end of September, very, very early October, this thing's going back under $50, in my opinion. But it is having a hell of a day today. If you had hopped in overnight, you'd be up over, what was that, $1,700 right now? So if you went long oil, which I know a lot of people did not, but if you were some of the few that did go long oil, then good for you. Good trade on that one. Trying to decide if we're, like I said, I feel like our support is really building right around that 29, 28 level, but just not getting the signs that I want. And when I don't get the signs that I want, we usually continue to break down further. We're just starting to show signs of oversold here on the RSI. We're down to 29.27. So like I said, guys, I mean, patience is key. Don't ever try to chase a trade. Yeah, I kind of missed out on a little like 5 minute scalp there, but I would rather just wait something out, see what's going to happen versus hopping in way too soon and trying to hold it, because that's what a lot of people do. Get in, get up here, then it pulls down quick and you're like, oh shit, oh, well, it's probably going to bounce back, and then no, it doesn't, and then you're right back to essentially where we would have got in. So, like I said, I would rather miss a trade. I would rather miss 100 trades than hop in one trade too early and end up losing some money or breaking even, just because I'm not sticking to what I know at the end of the day. So, I mean, our 5 minute is starting to become very attractive. It's getting there. I'll say that. It is getting there. We're getting super close to that 29, 27 area. So see, now it's trying to decide. Like I said, my gut's telling me we got a little bit of more room to the downside. I might be wrong, but this wick right here, if it's an indicator, then just a little bit. And I mean, our 1 minute, we still got plenty of room to keep running down. So we'll see. And who knows, the market might just now be starting to digest the trade deficit. Apparently the trade deficit was it up a little bit, I believe? Went up like a $1 billion or something. It was like it sounds like they were off by about $1 billion on the estimate. We talked a little bit about that in the Discord group chat. I mean, that is a good sign right there, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff involved, obviously, than just by dollar amount. So we'll keep a close eye. Just still waiting. Still not in anything right now. Just simply waiting to place a trade. Wanting to get in at a good price, of course. I do believe that we're going to retest the high of the morning, which was 29.36. I mentioned in our Discord group chat, I think we're probably going to head up and try to retest at least 29.40, maybe even 29.45. But, and I mean, if that's the case, even if you got in right here, I mean, that's a good little profit. That'd be about 10 to 18 points. But again, this market has been so unpredictable for me to sit here and try to say, oh yeah, the market is going to 29.45 today. That'd be ridiculous. I mean, we have a little bit of a double top here. We could just as easily fall back down to that 29.15 area that was acting as a little bit of a resistance, I believe, overnight. Or maybe it was 29.16, somewhere in that 29.15 range. I know last night we got up above 29.15 for a little bit, pulled back. Again, this is where I almost hopped in. My target entry was 29.12. We didn't hit it. And next thing I know, I looked and boom, we'd shot up to 29.22. And I was like, holy shit. And from there, I was like, well, I'm not entering. I'm going to bed. And then I woke up and I was like, man, guess I should have still entered that. Tends to be how it goes, right? So that 8 and 12 EMA keeps smacking us down. Mini corn dropping. That might have something to do. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong on that, but I wonder if that has anything to do with the hurricane. Possibly. I heard orange or orange juice, whatever. Futures were down pretty big yesterday too, like 2% or something like that. That's definitely because of the hurricane situation, which sounds like it's a lot better than what they had expected. But from what I heard, the Bahamas just got destroyed. So hopefully anyone anyone that's down there is doing all right. I heard they just got hit for like 2 or 3 days straight. So I mean that's a lot of water. A lot of water and a lot of wind for sure. So, and like I said, hopefully our stream's doing all right. We got 3 of you tuning in. If anyone's new and tuning in for the first time, definitely consider that subscribe button below. We'd love to have you here, joining part of our awesome community. And we have a Discord group chat that I just pulled up a little bit ago. If you want to join that, then just hit the link in the description box, and it'll take you right to the group. It's free, easy to join. And there's like over 100 of us in there now. So it's awesome to see that continue to grow day by day. So this is, once again, this price action is just about as slow as overnight. I mean, this is about what was going on yesterday. So one thing about it, our DMI for our buy signal is damn near at the low since last night when we had this kind of bottoming action right around 2902, 2903. Actually, that was last night, right around 7, 8 o'clock. And we're right around that same level, right around 10, 11. So, oops, went a little bit too far. Yeah, we're right around that same level. This was around 1 o'clock. You can see when we hit that level at 1 o'clock, we shot up from there. Go a little bit further. When we hit close to this level, this was around 12. But whenever we hit around 12 on the DMI, on our buy signal, what we do? We shot up again. And whenever we came down a little bit here, we were still pretty close, though, kind of like how we are now on our DMI. But whenever we came, this is 14, so I mean, just a couple points on that DMI can make a huge difference. But every time this thing seems to get around like 11 to 12, from what I've noticed over the last couple of days of really using the DMI, it seems to almost signal that, hey, we're a little low on our buy on the DMI. We should get a little bit of buying. Now it's already up to almost 13. I'm just still not confident at the moment, though. Market really hasn't proven anything yet that it wants to go up any further yet. And another thing to keep in mind, which I don't know why I haven't brought this up yet, but I mean, we're at the top essentially of this trading range that we've been in for the last month. So I mean, if we don't continue to pull out of it today or tomorrow, then I mean, chances are we're gonna roll over and go back down to the low of at least like 2830, and maybe even retest 2800. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. Pull up the 180 day. So I mean, you can see again right around that top, it was acting as a support back at the beginning of August. I think we were talking about that a little bit in Discord this morning too. We haven't even been this high really since obviously last week we hit it, but since August 2nd, whenever it was acting as support before we broke down, we're just at the top of that trading range, and it seems every time we get up here, we get a little bit of a flush, at least a 1 to 2% drop minimum. So it's like the trading range right now is between like 28.50 to 29.25, 29.30 right now. So with lows of about 2800, 2820. So I wasn't paying attention, but our MACD did get awfully low. I was focusing on that DMI so much, I forgot to pay attention to the MACD. It did get awfully low. We just crossed here. Be interesting to see if we can hold above it. Once we do, 29.30, 29.30.50 is going to be a new resistance again. Be interesting to see if we can hold that. But I mean, there's definitely been a couple chances that you could have scalped here this morning. I mean, I'm not going to say that there hasn't been chances. I mean, we missed out on a little 3 to 4 point pop here, so $20 a profit. We missed out so far on about another 3 to 4 point profit so far. So, I mean, we could have made another $30 to $40 this morning, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. Just wasn't feeling it at the time. I just don't like this price action right now. But that could change relatively quickly. So we'll see what happens. Oh yeah, with what was that? Hurricane Harvey, wasn't it? Yeah, Houston got hit pretty hard. So Donald Trump just quoted the thing that I posted from CNBC. In his recent tweet, all it says is, man, he's tweeting the hell out of Twitter right now. U.S. winning trade war with China in dollars. CNBC. That's the only thing he had to say, apparently. I saw an interesting study about that, actually. It says when Trump tweets like over, what was it, 25 or 30 times a day. It says when he tweets over like 20 to 30 times a day, essentially, the market tends to have a bad day. I was like, man, where do people like have the time to do these studies? Like, it's crazy. So we're still doing all right. We got 4 of you tuning in. And like I said, guys, if you have any questions or have any tickers you want me to take a look at, just shout it out there in the chat. We were discussing oil for a little bit so far, oil, gold, talking about like corn and orange juice, all that good stuff. More so futures this morning. But if you guys have any ticker symbols, like any specific stocks you want me to take a look at, just let me know. Or even another future, if you want me to look at like the Dow or the NASDAQ, anything like that, let me know. I think I have them pulled up here, the minis, and then we had VIX pulled up. VIX is creeping up upwards of 19 again. VIX continues. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and go back over to VIX. /VX. So, again, I was mentioning this yesterday. I was like, you can see over 20 day, kind of like the stock market, VIX has been in a range as of late, upwards of like 21, 22 here and there, to lows of around like 16 to 18. We're kind of right in the middle of that range right now with VIX. If we could get just a big drop within the VIX, then obviously the markets would go up higher as well. But I think the market is honestly just waiting on some kind of news with China. They want to see some sort of like, can we get a date of the sit down at least? Like the market just wants some kind of leeway, like some kind of headway being made on the whole trade war situation. And I think that's why we're kind of trading back and forth between this. Like, it's a really tight range the last few days. Obviously, U.S. stock market was closed Monday, but the futures were still trading since Sunday night due to, like, Asian markets and European markets being open. And we've been in this super tight range the last few days since, like, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, almost 4 days now. We've been in this range of about 28.90 on the low end and about 29.30, about where we're at right now, 29.30, 29.35. We're just in this super tight range the last few trading sessions. And I think it's just because, again, the market's they're almost expecting either Trump to come out and butcher it, essentially say something bad, or they're really hoping for him to come out and say, date set, blah, 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 blah. Something like that. It's crazy that the market can be driven so much by someone's Twitter account, but that's the market we're in right now. So I'm not surprised that right around this 29, 27 level is holding relatively well. That was our support early on this morning around 5, 6 a.m. Central Time, 6 a.m., 6, 7 a.m. Eastern Time. When we legged up higher, I would really like to see it hold. In all honesty, if we hold that and continue to go higher, then bullish for the day. But if we break it down, then our next move down would probably be somewhere around 29.22 in all honesty, which was our resistance overnight, if I recall. Obviously, we had the 29.15.16 that I mentioned. Then when we popped up, 29.22 kind of is where we topped out a little bit, and then we ended up going higher. So lots of supports and lots of resistances. Like I said, we're just in this really, really tight range right now in the market. We're down to 29.26 now. Again, wouldn't be surprised if they pull it up here. But at the same time, like I said, we got plenty of room to keep running down. So this is why I do not always look at my MACD for like every trade necessarily. Because like I mentioned a couple minutes ago, we had the cross here. Or no, it was this cross right here. Because I was like 20 minutes ago. This cross right here, we seen it, but look what happened. We got rejected by that 34 EMA, came back down. Now we're down near lows of the session, essentially, since the market opened at 8:30. I will say, though, again, that DMI is starting to get awfully low. If it gets down to 1050, somewhere in that range, then chances are RSI will be oversold. I'm interested in our 5-minute. Yeah, see, our 5-minute just started showing signs of oversold. So, I mean, we're definitely getting attractive here. If we could just get that 1 minute to go oversold, that'd be perfect setup, ideally. So we'll see what happens here over the next few minutes. Might be getting ready to place the first trade of the day here. Might be. So we keep breaking down. Every point just keeps trying to hold as if it's its own support. Just every point, it tries to bounce. Every point we drop. I'm gonna go back to that 5-minute chart really quickly. So our MACD is also, what's it sitting at now? Right around like negative 0.4. Negative 0.4, negative 0.5. Our DMI is also around a 12. It's just slowly but surely bringing itself down. Honestly, it's almost looking a little bit, dare I say, a little bit on the bearish side, because we keep coming up just enough to keep that RSI from oversold, but then we keep going down another point and a half each time we drop. Like I said, I do like the fact that now our 5-minute is pretty oversold. We're down to 22, 23 on the RSI. Our MACD has finally went pretty negative as well. It's definitely close to a buy. Like I said, we're really close. If we can just get a little bit further down, then I'll probably at the minimum do some sort of scalp. Like I just said, though, I mean, I'll say it over and over. I'll say it till I'm blue in the face. It's just all about patience. Patience is the key. And I mean, with the Micro E-mini, you're not going to have huge profits, obviously. And I haven't mentioned this yet today. I've been mentioning it the past few streams. Like, I'm up $127 roughly in the last week, or about week and a half now. $127. Not a lot. I mean, we're only trading one contract at a time, too, keep in mind. But keep everything in perspective. Micro E-mini is 1/10 the size of the E-mini. So if you're up $127 on the Micro E-mini, what would you be up on the E-mini? I mean, they're simultaneous. Like, they trade the same. It's just Micro E-mini is 1/10 the size. So if you can make 127 in a week on the micro E-mini, that's equivalent to making $1,270 on the E-mini first week, week and a half. So again, you just got to keep, I can't stress enough, keep everything in perspective. We're down to about 10 and a half now. Just went oversold on our RSI. Like I said, I think now we're probably coming down somewhere around like 29, 22. Let's see. We'll see what happens here over the next minute or two. But yeah, man, I just can't stress enough. For those of you that are going to be hopping into the micro E-mini, like, if anything, the micro E-mini is the best place to start because it forces you to be more tactical with your trades. With the E-mini, I think it's easy to get kind of lazy. Just go after like a 1 point gain, 2 point gain, half a point even. Because, I mean, if you're up half a point on the E-mini, you're up $50. After fees and commissions, like $45 per contract. So, I mean, I feel like it's easier to get lazy and sloppy with your trading on the E-mini just because, I mean, you go up a quarter of a point, you've already covered your profits. Your profits. You already covered your fees and commissions for the trade. Whereas with the micro E-mini, you have to go up about half a point to 3/4 of a point just to cover your commissions. And then after that, you're in the profit. So it forces you definitely to be a little bit more tactical with your trades, in my opinion. And if you can get good at trading the micro E-mini, if you can get good at trading that micro E-mini, then it'll be a simultaneous just switch over to the E-mini. And, I mean, you'll make damn good money, I believe. That's just my 2 cents, though. Watching it very closely, we dropped down briefly to that 29.22 level that I mentioned would be our next support level. We're up about a point off of that now. I guess I should have brought my charger from my laptop down. Looks like we're hovering around half an hour or so left of battery. So I'm really considering hopping in here. Like I said, I like the fact that our 5-minute is now heavily oversold. I believe our 15-minute is also approaching oversold. I mean, everything is lining up with whereabouts I want to get in. Our 1 hour chart's cooled off quite a bit too. Only thing is with the 1 hour, it is looking slightly a little bit on the bearish side. We're about to cross on our DMI, about to cross on MACD, yada, yada, yada. So let's see, here we go. We're at 29.22, 29.21. So see, that's exactly why I didn't get in. Just wondering how far is this thing going to drop before enough's enough. I probably should be getting in right now. We've already cut our gains almost in half on the trading session. Just some pretty bearish price action currently. $40 per contract. Oh, are you talking about your gold? Your gold trade this morning, Luis? And props to anyone who decided to short right around 29.30, because I knew in the back of my head, I was like, if we break 29.30, I think we could definitely fill the gap down to that 29.22 range minimum. So, I mean, if you went with a short right around 29.30, which I'm sure a few people did, if you did that, that's a good trade for you for sure. I mean, that on the micro E-mini is a $40 profit so far. So, good trade right there for whoever did that. So, I mean, our MACD is, man, everything is starting to show. I should be buying here. I don't know why I'm being so hesitant, but I should be buying here. Let me see what we're pulled up here. We're at 22.50. 22.75. I'm so damn hesitant this morning. I guess it's just I've seen our EMAs continue to reject this morning, and I'm wondering how much further can we go. Let's see. We still got 3 of you tuning in. Awesome stuff. Awesome to see some of you all tuning in this morning. I know a lot of you all got work. I'm actually off of work this month, the month of September. And I plan on doing quite a few of these stock market trading sessions for you all this month. They're not going to be as long as ones in the past where I've done them for like 7 or 8 hours or anything like that. But definitely plan on hopping in here and doing some trading with you all. So again, our DMI is right around that 10.4 level. I mean, everything, in my opinion, is starting to show signs that I should be going ahead and hopping in. I should have hopped in at that 29.22 level. I missed out a little bit there already. That would have been, about $7.50 of profit so far on the micro E-mini. We're at 10.27, pretty much 10.3 on the DMI down here. Donald Trump tweeted. That's the same tweet he just tweeted. I don't know why. Showed me again. It's just we're trying to make any move up. We're seeing a whole lot of selling. I mean, we get again these quick little pops up here and there, but then we just continue to go into selling. I mean, you don't see hardly any buying going on right now. So how much have we dropped since the high of the morning? We're down roughly, not quite 0.5%, but probably about 1/3. No, close to 0.5%, about 0.4% this morning. We've pulled back. So on our next little pullback, probably going to go ahead and hop in. Because I think that 29.22 level, I think that's the floor for today. I think that's our low. Unless if obviously the market just continues to slam throughout the afternoon or something, which wouldn't surprise me one way or the other. But I think we've set our floor for the day right around that 29.22 level. Test 34. Wouldn't be surprised if after testing the 34, we pull back yet again. As you can see, all throughout the morning, that 34. Get above it, pull down. Above it, pull down. Close to testing it again. We'll see if we can actually get above it or if we're going to pull down again. This time, though, however, if we pull down, I would like to see us if we can test it but pull down and then test that 8 and 12 and bounce again, that'll be bullish in my opinion. And then at that point I'll probably go ahead and hop in because at that point I think we'll blow through the 34 and then we'll probably fill the gap up to minimum 29.30. So I mean I'd probably get in somewhere around like the 29.24 level. And then my target sell would be a 29.30, just a 6 point little gain, $30. But I mean, again, $30 profit on the micro. What would that be on the E-mini? That's $300 profit. So just keep it all in perspective still. The pull back to the hour. See, pull back to the hour. Are you talking about the let's see. I'm trying to see what exactly you're referring to, Luis. If I'm on the right chart, I think you're talking about the hour, the 1 hour chart. It's been a battle with that 34 EMA all morning, ever since, like I said, around 5 a.m. this morning. Stayed above it, came up, popped to about 29.33, and then we reached below it, test it, below it, test it, below it, test it, below it, below it. I thought, honestly, right here we were going to finally break out, but we didn't. And then we kept selling, and again, we're testing it. Just got rejected again. But again, I would like to see us bounce somewhere right around this 8 or 12 EMA. If we can do that and then blow through the 34, that'd be a bullish sign in my opinion. And like I said, I think we at least fill it to 29.30, maybe even 29.32 again. First hour trading's almost over though. So again, like usual, I never really place a trade the first hour just because so much can happen and I don't want to be on the wrong side of whatever happens. Honestly, that first hour, you're almost just flipping a coin from what I noticed. I mean, it's just how it goes a lot of times. $15-minute, pretty close. So here's our pullback. We'll see if it bounces and squeezes up or if it continues to pull down again. And the Bollinger Band. I've never heard of that one. I'll have to look into that one sometime. The Bollinger Band. I feel like I've heard of that, but I've never used it before. I'll have to look into it sometime. And another thing we could do, which, I mean, this usually happens a lot more in the after hours trading. This is a pattern I usually trade on a lot, is almost like we form a little double bottom on the 1 minute chart and then we end up pushing up higher. Like I said, usually this happens a lot more in like the after hours trading. When I'm trading, I mean, I can go back and probably find a couple instances. Let's see here. So like this one, I think, was where I actually traded last night. Wasn't necessarily like a double bottom per se, but we had our we had our big pullback, and then we came up, tested that SMA, that green line right there. We pulled back again, and then what happened was a few minutes later, obviously pushed on up from there. Should be a better example somewhere though. Let me see. See how far back we can go. So again, right here is kind of an example. Tiny little 1, 2 push up. That's kind of like what I trade a lot whenever I'm trading in the after hours. And again, looks like we're forming something slightly similar right here. See what happens. You can kind of see it formed on the RSI too. I'm really tempted to go ahead and go long here right around that 29.24, 29.25 level. Kind of like how it's setting up. DMI is hovering right around 14. And there we go. Let's see here. 29.31 or 29.9. Yeah. It dropped relatively quickly. I mean, it went from, like you said, right around that 29.31 level to 29.22 quick. I mean, that was definitely, if you short, like I said, if you shorted above 29.30, you had a good little profit gain for sure. I don't know why I'm not pulling the trigger on any of these when I know I can be making some money, but I don't know what the hell is going on this morning. Being awfully gun shy this morning. Had the identical pattern to what I wanted, and I still didn't hop in that trade. It's probably that 34 EMA. That 34 EMA has been a little bit scary this morning. Every time we get up near it, we pull back. But you test something enough, you're going to end up blowing through it eventually. Just like our support levels. So we just got a little bit of a rejection again. We're going to war right now with that 34 EMA. You can see that our 12 and 8 are starting to try to curl up here. I'm going to go ahead and hop in here. Where are we at? Up my bid a little bit. Every time I get ready to send it, it goes up a little. Like clockwork, pulls down a little bit. And there we go. Like I said, always tend to get in a little bit early. So I'm going to go ahead and get it set up as if I'm going to close. And then we'll just kind of watch it from here. Oh man, my battery's getting close to going dead. So hopefully you all have been doing well so far this morning, so far this week. Like I said, we just hopped in right around that 29, 25, 25 level. Say that over and over again. 29, 25, 25 is where we got in. So we're up quarter of a point right now. Nothing major. But overall, like I said, we're up now like right around $130 since starting trading the Micro E-mini last Monday. Again, just got to keep it all in perspective. That's equivalent to being up $1,300 on the E-mini. And if you can prove to yourself like me, I want to prove to myself that over the next 6 to 12 months, I can profit trading the micro. And then at that point, I'll decide to hop over to the E-mini. But we'll just see how it plays out over the next 6 to 12 months. But hopefully you guys have been enjoying the stream. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, we'd love to have you here. Definitely consider hitting that subscribe button below and hitting the bell icon. That way you'll be notified every time we go live. I'll be keeping you guys updated on Discord as my battery's going to be dying here soon. And I'll probably do another like part 2, little like 1 hour stream again here in a little bit. Similar to yesterday. We stopped around this time yesterday. And then I hop back on about an hour later. Probably do something a little bit similar to that. I'll probably hop on here somewhere in the next hour or so. Just keep you guys updated. And then, like I said, those of you in Discord, you're always updated on when I get in and out of trades. So if you're not already in Discord, like I said, it's super easy to join. You can get it on your laptop, your smartphone, whatever you want. Links in the description box to join that. Totally free. Super easy to join. We'd love to have you there, of course. But until that next stream coming up, guys, hopefully you guys are going out there making your profits, covering your profits, and achieving some financial freedom this year. And I'll see you guys, like I said, very soon for another, like a part 2 to this live stream. Take it easy, guys.